Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of the Four Corners Podcast. My name is John, and I am your host who definitely enjoyed this Royal Rumble the most. And I'm joined by my beautiful co-hosts, Damien.
John, you do the same thing every week, but I love it. But I just mocked you the whole entire time.
Yeah, we gotta have continuity. I just finally got
it sounds
exit
great.
down. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It sounds better.
Getting into a flow of things. I like it. I like the way it sounds, personally.
Your hair looks nice today, buddy.
Really? Think so? I need a haircut soon, but I probably won't get a haircut until Valentine's Day.
Except I'm balding, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, buddy.
So is Baron Corbin.
Ethan!
Hey, what up? How's it going?
I mean, it's going.
Yeah.
Chilling. We're
doing a podcast.
Doing a podcast, yeah. Just came off this pay-per-view, which was a good one in my opinion. So
one of the greatest rumbles of all time.
Yeah.
I would say.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But we do have a special guest on this week's episode. Our fourth corner is under the weather. He is out of action. He is MIA. But
Next door.
Good thing he is next door. But good thing we have the reserves. We have the fifth corner, Kelli.
Boo.
Oh,
okay,
man.
listen here. Listen here. Hi, John.
Kelli, how you been, darling?
I've been good. How have you been?
You know what? I'm stellar.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it.
I feel good that we're finally doing the podcast again. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me
I was
again.
gonna say, how do you feel being back on the podcast?
I love being back on the podcast. You know that.
You're
I
our
know.
first guest of season 2.
First
Wow.
guest of
It's
season
been a while
2.
since we've had Kelli.
It has been a while,
It was-
and since this is season 2,
Oh, no.
and we have done our
Oh,
updated top 5s, Kelli,
Yes.
you know how we roll.
I do. I listen to the podcast every single week.
Do you really?
Yeah, I really do.
I think that's
Aw.
the first person that watches
That
it all,
actually
or that
watches it
listens
all
to
the
it
way-
all the way
In
through.
Austin.
I don't
Actually, Nick's mother
Shout out
watches
to
it.
Austin.
Really?
Shannon. Shout out to Shannon.
I saw that Shannon posted or commented on it, and I was like, go Shannon. What a lovely woman.
Shout out
Good.
Shannon.
She's nice.
Could you bring us?
Speaking of
could
women-
you give us like that chocolate stuff again? What were Brookies? I want those Brookies.
Oh, the
again.
Brookies?
Yeah.
Brookies are
Oh,
good.
I want those
Amazing.
again. Sorry
10 out of
to
10.
interrupt, but
No, you're okay. But speaking of women,
Yes.
Kelli, before
I am
we
a
went on a
woman.
tangent. We literally went somewhere else with this.
It's fine.
Kelli,
Yes.
I want you to give us your updated, because it has been a while, Kelli.
Yeah, I
and a
think
lot
the-
has happened since the last time you were on this
I think the
podcast.
last time was the video podcast.
Video pod, the one that I wasn't a part of.
I think so.
Yeah.
no,
because
you're part of the Hell in a Cell predictions, weren't you? Or like the aftermath or something. Like you and Tyler both.
Oh, yeah. We
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
I
me and
lied.
me and Nick weren't there.
Yeah, because it was John, Damien, Tyler, and I. Yeah.
I don't
Was
even
it-
remember
where
that.
Was it in here?
Yeah, I
That
wasn't here.
I think that was the last podcast of season 1.
Man,
Oh
it
my.
must have been so bad we don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't
Damien,
remember
you
at all.
just talked a lot.
I know. John
And
John
you
tells
could-
me I need to talk more.
Yeah.
So.
And then you
You
could
do need to
barely
talk
hear
more.
Tyler.
Well,
I try to
because
lead
Tyler
you
was
with
so-
questions,
yeah.
and then you don't.
Well, I only
You just kind of give like 5 or 6 word answers.
Yeah, man, dude.
But we need that. we need that kind of dynamic. You know
But
what
I'm
I mean?
excited for the future.
But-
so
Oh my god.
I am not going to be interrupted again. Kelli.
Yes.
Oh, please don't
Sorry,
do that.
I'm sorry. That was really loud.
Yeah, I think it clipped, but
I got excited.
so Kelli, go ahead. You know how we roll. We like to see how our guests and how our hosts are with their wrestlers and their flavor of wrestling. So, go ahead and give us your current top 5 wrestlers.
Okay. Current top 5.
I'm so sorry.
Ethan.
Wow.
That's like
Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
I've
All right.
I've been really turned on to him lately.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
Stop.
Hi,
Not
Tyler.
like
Hi, Tyler.
that. Oh my god. Finn Balor, obviously,
Of course,
forever and
Daddy.
always. Are
Are these in any particular order,
No.
by the way?
No. Adam Cole.
Baby.
Okay, baby.
Been loving me some him.
Hey, baby.
Becky Lynch.
Oh.
Even
Interesting choice.
though R.I.P. And Charlotte.
Nice.
I mean, I like me some Charlotte, so.
Yeah.
I think everybody likes us. I was going to say.
Very true.
But you don't want to go into details about why those are your favorite wrestlers right now?
I mean, I think they're pretty. Wow, I'm not even gonna try to say that word because I can't right now.
Okay. Let me ask you this, since you are relatively new to wrestling,
I mean, it's been like a year.
right? And I mean, because a year is a long time still,
Yeah.
but relatively new. Those are all new superstars. There's nobody in there that's like like older?
Well,
Is that
Dolph.
Dolph maybe, but he still
Kind
feels
of.
he still
He still
feels
feels
kind of
fresh.
young. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He still feels kind of
He
young.
hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the
He
thing.
hasn't done anything.
So
for
do
a
you think
while.
that's a product of you being new? And since a lot of ours, like Randy Orton is one of Damien's favorites. Do you think that since he probably grew up with that, that's a product of that, or is it honestly just like those are just happen to be your favorites right now?
Probably both, just because like I am relatively new, so the current roster is what I have been exposed to live. I mean, I watch a lot of older matches and pay-per-views in my spare time, which is why
Same.
I have
Yeah, honestly, me too.
five my all-time favorites differ from my current favorites, just because I think it's more of that I've experienced these the 5 current wrestlers live, so I
Okay.
feel more connected to them, whereas my all-time I unfortunately wasn't able to see them in action, kind of. I think that's kind of
that's
what it is.
Yeah.
Pretty good
I
explanation
was
of it.
I was just curious because I know that a lot of the current wrestlers I like have the same kind of flavor as my all-time favorites and the people I grew up with, kind of like the Rey Mysterio
Yeah.
and Jeff Hardy and that stuff.
Yeah.
But speaking of all-time favorites, go ahead and give us your updated top 5 favorites of all time.
Okay. I'm gonna start off with my girl AJ Lee.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Right,
Good
right,
choice.
I miss her.
Master.
Oh, yes, sir.
Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, good
I
choice.
think
He
that was
on
all
mine.
of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was on
I
mine.
literally think it was all-
Timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Triple H. I know
Ooh,
he's.
okay.
Oh, that's.
I know he's still kind of in that weird phase where he's on again, off again.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I said the Undertaker, so it's on and off
That's my
again.
next. That's my next one is
Kane.
the Undertaker,
Oh.
which is also questionable. And then Beth Phoenix.
Oh,
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a good choice.
I was gonna say it's nice to have another perspective. I think that's another thing, going off of you not growing up with those wrestlers.
Yeah.
And so it's you finding those wrestlers on your own, in your own time, and not being force fed them or
Yeah.
whatever.
I remember my childhood. My brother was a big fan of wrestling. I mean, please keep in mind that he's 20 years older than I am, so I didn't really grow up with him. But I remember whenever I would go over to his house and he would babysit me, we would watch Undertaker stuff. And my dad was an Undertaker fan, even though he didn't watch wrestling. He still liked his character. So I remember bits and pieces of Undertaker from my childhood, which is why I think I'm so keen on him. But for the most part, yeah, you're entirely right. It's me sitting down and finding those
Right.
people and being hey, I genuinely like this person. I want to watch more.
And I mean, I'm sure just being a woman, you're excited to see kind of the steps forward that WWE is making.
I'm excited for the future.
You're excited for the future.
There
Me
it
too.
is.
Well, I'm sure as a woman, you were excited for this last pay-per-view.
I
So,
was.
what we had on Sunday was a historic pay-per-view. We had the first ever women's Royal Rumble match, which we will get to. But the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in general was pretty good.
It was
That's
yeah.
good.
It was the best pay-per-view of the year.
Wow.
That was a good one.
Really setting the bar low.
Hey, you know
Yeah,
what today is?
What's today?
January 30th.
Oh, man.
It's also Rusev Day, if you
No.
didn't know that.
No, it's not.
Every day's Rusev Day.
Yeah.
Did you know my birthday falls on Rusev Day?
No way.
So does
Yeah.
mine.
Dude, I was going to say
goodness.
mine
John
does
and I have the
too.
same birthday.
You
So,
do?
yeah,
Nice.
both of our birthdays.
What are you guys getting us for our birthdays?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
It's
gonna
in,
take you to the
it's
bar,
in a month.
John.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I can't do
I
that.
can't take you to the bar,
I know.
Ethan, you youngie.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that would have been a
Pretty young.
great transition if the bar and Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan was the first match.
That would have been a really
That
good
would have
transition.
been. Yeah, but
Wah, wah,
it wasn't.
wah.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick off without the kickoff show because there wasn't really anything memorable there. But the show, the curtain jerker, which was surprising, was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship match. Now, a lot of people are upset just because, yes, the championship match should be on last.
Or near
But
last.
I think and I think in this case it's just a different scenario altogether. There was a lot going on, and as we'll get into later, like the Women's Rumble had to go on last.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good match to put on first. It wasn't really a big surprise. So AJ Styles did overcome the odds of the handicap match and beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
It was a good match.
It was an awesome match.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it kept Kevin and Sami looking strong, and kept the title on AJ. So it was good.
I don't was there like any dissension between the two during the match?
No.
Okay.
No, they were both like pretty much on the same page, but then at the end, that weird the ref didn't see the non-tag and he thought that Kevin tagged in, and the whole thing with that.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, while this was a good pay-per-view, there were some weird moments, and that was definitely one of them.
Weird spots.
But I'm interested to see in which direction they're going to take this, because it doesn't seem like they're going to continue that, as we saw on SmackDown this evening.
Yeah.
But we'll be excited to see what AJ does with Shinsuke, as we'll get into that later. That should be an interesting match to see. But the next match we did have on the card was the continuing with the SmackDown mode.
Yeah, they did the SmackDown and then a Rumble.
Yeah, they
and then a Raw. And then...
They did kind of do that, and I didn't even realize that until I just said it, and we were just talking about it. But we did see the SmackDown Tag Team Champs, the Usos, retain their titles against American Beta. I don't know. I honestly thought that's what they were called. Like, I thought that's what the TV was calling them.
No, I don't think I ever heard it until you said it.
I was gonna say, I guess that's just the YouTube channels that I watch that calls them that.
It's okay, Oos.
I like it though. I like the name. That's why I call it.
Cool.
Call them that. But in the 2 out of 3 falls match, which we generally see go 3 falls.
Yeah, one, and then the winner.
Yeah, I mean
it's usually a quick fall, first fall, and then kind of like a slow second one, and then a high paced third.
Yeah, that kind of match writes itself.
Yeah.
But in this match, we saw the Usos get the first pinfall, which is fine, and then you can have Gable and Benjamin chase the second fall, and then try to get who's going to get the third fall. But then the Usos picked up the quick second fall.
Yeah, it kind of shows how dominant the Usos are right now.
Usos.
Mike
Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Kind of have a list.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like the decision to do that, because we've seen Gable and Benjamin beat the Usos. They've done it, even though it didn't technically count. They still beat them, and I think it made them look weak. And I get that the Usos looked dominant after that, but I don't think the Usos need to look dominant.
But I mean, they rolled them up the second one, so it's not like they knocked them out twice. They rolled them up in a surprise. So I mean, I understand. What?
I still didn't like
on.
the decision.
No.
But
which Uso was it that took the nasty power bomb or something?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember which one.
I don't remember
was,
either.
But he didn't tuck his chin. It looked like, I'm surprised he doesn't have a concussion, honestly. But that was crazy.
I want to say it was Jay, but
yeah,
also I could be.
I still can't. I've been watching for 3 years.
I still can't tell the difference.
There's, I found out that in those kind of tag teams, with the Usos and with even the Singh brothers or the Authors of Pain, I can look at them online and then go, oh yeah, that's the one, and I can distinguish the two. Mm-hmm. And then when I actually start watching them in the matches, I'm like, I can't. I'm done. I can't.
Yeah.
But are you guys surprised at all with the decision to go with the Usos? I know that, I don't know, almost all of us picked the Usos, right?
No, Damien and I didn't.
Oh, you? No,
I
Damien
did.
Oh, sorry.
Were you the only one that didn't?
I misunderstood. Me and Damien picked the Usos. You guys picked American
I picked
Beta.
the Usos. Or no, I
you
did
picked
pick
American
Yeah.
Beta.
You and Nick both picked American Beta.
Yeah. I picked them because I thought that they would punish them in some way by taking the tag team titles off of them.
Oh, because of the DUI?
Yeah, the DWI or whatever that is.
Yeah.
But as we saw tonight, the Bludgeon Brothers look like they're going to be making a run at them next, so...
Maybe? I don't know. It was kind of weird.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And speaking of weird, I don't know. I didn't see it before, but the first time I saw the weird graphics that were going on tonight was during the Usos. We'll probably get into that a little bit later, but like, what did they keep on saying? Locked in?
Yeah,
like locked down.
Locked up.
Locked up, yeah.
Locked up.
So weird.
Yeah, it was
Just
an
weird.
interesting choice.
It was like
Locked
the-
up.
Did anybody else get a graphic like that, or was it just the Usos?
Shinsuke got something. I remember I saw it on Twitter. Whenever he was doing the little grabbing the rope and falling thing, it played like a rock star like
Oh my
throughout
gosh.
it. Yeah, it looked like a Snapchat filter. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh, Kelly,
So
I don't even
corny.
know. I don't even know who you had in these matches. Who did you think was going to win?
I thought Usos were gonna retain.
Did you really, or are you just saying that because they already won?
No, like I went into the match thinking that they were gonna retain. I honestly forgot all. I can't English. Wow. I forgot about, was it Jay's DUI?
Yeah.
I think it was.
I think
his.
it was. I forgot about it. I mean, I don't think that they're gonna put the titles on American Beta just yet. I think that's gonna stay like probably like a mid-card feud for a while, and then they'll probably get them. I don't see them getting them anytime soon from the Usos. Now, if that changes, I feel like they would have a good chance, but not right now.
I thought it was a good time to put it on them, especially because after the promos they've been delivering lately,
Yeah.
their promos have been good, and they're definitely getting whatever heat they. I don't even know what they are right now. I think they're
they're tweeners. Like I think the Usos are tweeners too, just because
Yeah.
how much the crowd loves them, and like I think American Beta are also tweeners. I think the only like real faces are Breezango. And I think
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Like
Yeah,
that are
thinking-
actual like face.
Yeah.
Like yep, that's a face.
thinking about it. That is true.
Because Ascension's kind of heelish, kind of face.
They're also tweeners, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I mean,
know.
we throw around that term a lot, but I honestly think that a lot of today's wrestling is a tweener. Someone's
Locked up.
yeah locked up.
That was a
You
good
were just
one.
waiting to say that, weren't you?
I love dad jokes.
Locked up. Because you are a dad.
Amazing.
You're a
Yeah.
father. But
Not really, but
I think a lot of today's professional wrestling landscape is there are tweeners. Like, you have good people doing bad things and you have bad people doing good things. I don't know if that's just a product of, like, because
I see that in Aleister Black because I was kind of confused in that match with him and Adam Cole.
Baby.
Yeah, because I
We
don't
can talk
really
about
watch
that
the. I mean, if I'm on a roll right now, but
I guess.
but I mean, I was watching it because you told me to watch it. So because
Yes.
I don't usually watch the NXT like week by week. So I usually watch the takeovers, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch it. But then you told me, hey, you should watch it. So I watched it, but I was confused at who was supposed to be.
Yeah,
the heel.
Adam Cole's a tweener too, I think, because like
Oh yeah,
I mean,
because he got a big pop at
Mhm.
the Rumble.
and he's
They're
over.
heels, though.
Yeah, they are heels.
They
but
are heels.
But
he gets
there's-
cheered all the time.
It's just
That's-
one of those situations where
Yeah.
they're so good that, like,
yeah. Sanity's that way. AOP's starting to be that way too.
I think AOP are face
Face.
now.
Oh yeah, they are.
I think
face
they are
also.
face
yeah,
now.
Yeah, but still, like even before they actually turned face, they were getting cheered, and yeah, so
Well, speaking of Adam Cole
baby.
and some NXT, after that SmackDown Tag Team match, we got, which was a surprise to all of us, the Men's Rumble, the third match in. I don't think the Rumble has ever been anything but the last match.
No, it has because it was the Rock
2013,
versus
Oh.
CM Punk.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they
But-
open the show one year? I feel like one year it opened the show, but I couldn't tell you what year it was. I don't know.
But no, I was looking at it too, and it's like usually Rumble main event,
Mhm.
and then you have the CM Punk versus The Rock, because I think it was John Cena who won the
Mhm.
Rumble.
Yeah, then Rock won it
Yeah.
for the
Oh.
rematch. Yeah.
But I personally thought it was going to be a mistake. Not because I didn't want the women's match going on last. Like, I'm totally fine with that, especially now I'm fine with that. My concern was that they would be so exhausted from the original, or from the men's Rumble, that the fans wouldn't be as into it as they probably should be. But I think I was proven wrong. I think the crowd did a decent job of staying as the kids would say, lit all the way through. But with the men's Rumble, we did have a lot of surprises, and I think this was one of the more unpredictable Rumbles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, last year I felt like it was pretty unpredictable too, but I feel like this year was just I kind of had a feeling because last year I didn't know who was gonna win, but I think this year I was either like Nakamura or Finn or Roman were like the three that for me at least I'm like I figured was gonna win.
Well, I mean, even John Cena was
Yeah.
thrown into that conversation. There were a lot of people, and it was a very decently stacked Rumble.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was good.
And I think that we can all agree that like this was one of my favorite Rumbles ever.
It's being talked about like one of the best Rumbles, or at least top 3.
And fair enough, because it had just about everything. I don't know if you guys heard me in the middle of the match, but I was like, man, this is going to be an awesome Rumble if the right guy wins at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally going to be an awful Rumble if Roman had won. But he didn't. We had Shinsuke Nakamura winning the Rumble, challenging AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
Heck yeah.
Incredible. Oh, it's going to be so good. But Roman was in the Final 4, or was he in the Final 2?
Roman was final 2.
Final 2.
Yeah.
He was the Final 2?
Came down to Roman and Shinsuke, yeah.
Because it was we were doing that thing, and Sam had Shinsuke and I had Roman.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had our Rumble draw, and I drew Goldust, Heath Slater, and who else did I draw?
I had Big E.
Who did you draw?
Aiden English. That's who I drew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drew Adam Cole, and I wrote it down somewhere. Oh, Rusev, Apollo Crews, and Adam Cole.
I had Big E, Rey Mysterio, and Roman Reigns.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I see your list? Because I
Do you have all the Rumble entrants?
The one with the slashes is the one that actually came out.
Wow, I literally forget. I know I had Matt Hardy. I know that.
Didn't you have? I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember.
Oh, I
Anyways.
had Dolph Ziggler, and I had
yeah,
29.
Yeah, that was pretty
Who was
lit.
who was 29?
Because
I had
Goldust.
Goldust was 29.
Gold.
No, I had Miz. That's who I had.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
Goldust was 29 because I
27,
was so
that's what I
excited
had.
for 29, and then but you mentioned Ziggler. This was a good Rumble in terms of surprises. So the list that I have written down, we had Andrade Cien Almas coming off of that incredible match with Johnny Gargano at Takeover, which we'll get into. And then we had our kind of nostalgia pops in the Hurricane, which was like awesome.
I was not expecting that.
Not in
at
the
all.
slightest.
I
I
don't
mean,
think anyone
as a kid,
was.
I was the biggest Hurricane.
Oh,
fan.
I love the
yeah.
Hurricane.
Hurricane and Kane were probably my 2 favorites, and Ray. And whenever he came back, I felt like a little kid again. It was awesome.
And
How old is the Hurricane? Because he
he's
looked
like
good.
48.
He
maybe?
looked young.
45.
Or
Is
he
he,
looked
he's probably
young.
around 45, honestly.
Shane Helms he's 43.
Oh,
Wow,
we were
he
close.
looked good.
He
Yeah.
wrestled
I mean,
good
obviously,
too, and they had that
I couldn't see
flashback
behind
back
the
to the
mask,
which Rumble was it where the Hurricane got in between Triple H and Stone Cold and did the choking thing?
Probably
and
2002. That'd be my guess. 2003.
yeah, it's around there.
Yeah.
It's got to be around there. That was a cool little
Yeah.
little throwback to the past. And yeah, as you were saying, we weren't expecting it. There was no dirt sheet rumor. No, there's no.
I mean,
rumor
I think
mill
the
or
same
nothing.
thing with Ray.
That was
Another, I was just gonna get into that. So another complete surprise was Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that was.
Dang,
pretty
does
cool.
he look good?
That's the
He's-
best shape I've ever
Yes.
seen him
Trimmed
in.
down completely. He had the skinny tights instead of the like regular like
Pants,
flowing
yeah.
pants
Yeah.
that he has.
Which I don't know why he ever wore those to begin with, because he looks so good in those.
And
tight.
I know that he's still been wrestling in the independents, but he didn't miss a step.
Yeah, that was a one time thing. Sadly.
Do you think it's a one-time
Yeah,
thing?
because he's headed back to the UK.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Man,
So he's not going to be.
he's not gonna be the
He's not gonna-
GM of.
He's
205.
not going to be on
it could
205 Live?
Well, it could be
A swerve?
A swerve, but
Could be.
He
It's true.
he put it on Instagram
I mean, it's
that he's
like,
heading to the UK.
Yeah.
Rats.
Well, speaking of 205 Live, we found out tonight that Tyler Bate is actually going to be on 205 Live, right?
Yeah, I
He
saw.
should be prepared.
Yeah,
should be
I saw a
prepared.
small clip on Twitter that he should be prepared to fight by the new GM, which hasn't been announced yet.
to fight the new GM or to
No,
fight?
to like to
Oh,
be
Fight in
prepared.
general.
Fight in general.
Is this another anonymous Raw GM?
No, I think they're about to announce it
Blech.
in like a
Yeah,
minute.
they said that they're gonna announce it
I think
tonight.
I think it's gonna be Hurricane. I think it's gonna be Helms, and then
That would be
I think
awesome.
that's what I think it's gonna be.
No, it's
That would
gonna
be
be.
awesome.
It's
Oh,
gonna
and
be
then-
Pete.
Oh yeah, because then Helms can be like, "Yo,
be like,
you're gonna face the
Hurricane."
Hurricane tonight."
You know how
One-on-one
professional.
with the Undertaker.
You know how professional we are at the Four Corners podcast. While doing the podcast, we are watching 205 Live just to make sure that any breaking updates are happening.
Well, we didn't start doing that
Breaking
until the
news.
whole Enzo thing happened.
Phew. Yeah.
Yikes.
But yeah, with the Rumble, what were some of your guys' favorite moments of the Rumble? One for me was Heath Slater, the running gag that he. My only complaint is that I wish it would have gone on longer.
Yeah.
I wish they would have beat him up more. Like it was funny. Literally, it never got old.
It should have. I think it should have went to like at least 25 or something, just every time.
Yeah, even
That'd
if you
been
wanted to throw,
hilarious.
if you still wanted to do that with Sheamus,
Mm-hmm.
you could have put Sheamus in at the end, like
Switch Goldust around or something. Yeah.
something like. Yeah, what that was so underwhelming.
Yeah, it's like
Man.
29.
Goldust.
Gold Dust. So underwhelming. But yeah, the Heath Slater, that was probably one of my favorite moments of the Rumble. Probably one of my favorite moments of a Rumble.
Oh yeah.
Just because, like, it wasn't even heels doing it. It was heels
Just
and
everyone.
faces.
Yeah.
It was everyone. It was so funny.
I mean, Big E gave him a pancake to the mouth,
And that's what I'm saying is, like, while they weren't even beating him up, they were still, like,
messing with him.
messing with him. And that was, oh my gosh, it added
10
so
out of
much.
10.
Yeah, it added so much comedy flair to
And it was like the perfect amount of comedy. Like it didn't get old. It didn't become a running gag like you said. It was like the perfect amount that you needed. And just,
That would have been funny if Braun Strowman would have really just destroyed him.
Yeah, but sadly he was not in the Rumble because he had a match later on.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
Sheamus and Cesaro.
But one of my favorite moments of the Rumble was Kofi, his save this
Right.
year. He got thrown out by, what was it, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
And he got saved by Xavier. Xavier, one foot touched the ground, and he saved it. Or Xavier saved the foot. And then he just started putting his foot on pancakes. And then he was trying to get back into the ring, but Jinder wouldn't let that happen. So he hopped on one foot for a little bit. And then we saw Xavier and Big E throw him into the ring
That was
over top of
awesome.
Jinder. It reminded me of my old stunting days where we used to throw girls up in the air.
Oh yeah, you were a cheerleader, weren't you? I forgot
Yeah.
about
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was one of those, because, like, the Rumble every year is like, oh, what is Kofi going to do this year?
Past
And-
couple of years has been kind of like boring. I mean, not boring, but you know, like it could have been better. But
We're
this year was
just-
pretty good.
We're just
pretty good.
expecting something nuts to happen.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
But another one of my, not one of my favorite moments, but one that I was like, oh, neat. A wrestler with common sense was Andrade Cien Almas. Picked up it was Kofi, right? That he picked up and did it too. He was gonna throw Kofi out the
Oh
side.
yeah.
And Big E and Xavier were waiting for him, and it was like, yeah, they're just gonna catch him and throw him back in, like duh. And Andrade Cien Almas just turned around and threw him out the other side. Like it was a wrestler with common sense. Nuts. It was crazy. It made him look.
amazing.
Ethan, do you have any moments that stood out to you?
I really liked the final six where he did the three old guys. Well, not
Oh,
necessarily
yeah.
old, three old versus three new. I think that was really cool. Like
Who was in that? It was Shinsuke.
it was Shinsuke, Roman,
Roman.
and Finn
Yeah.
against Cena, Orton, and Ray.
awesome.
Like, yeah, it was so
Awesome.
good. It was cool. Like it felt like I was in like a time zone. Like
Right?
yeah, because like it's been such a long time since we've seen Ray, and the fact that he was like standing in between Randy and Cena, which have been the focal point of WWE for the past 15 years. You know, it was crazy to see.
It's like Rick and Morty became wrestling fans and like had the time portal like right there. But Kelly, did you have any like particular moments that you really enjoyed throughout the Rumble?
Oh my gosh, I honestly can't think of like a single one just because it was so overwhelming. Because I mean, I watched the one last year and I didn't really know what was going on, so I was just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
But like this year, it was just so good, and there are a lot of things like I didn't think I'd ever see Rey Mysterio live, so that was like really great for me because I was just like, oh my gosh, he's here.
He's awesome. Yeah, and
Yeah, he's great.
it was a huge pop, not only from the crowd, but from
From
where
us.
we were. Yeah,
Yeah.
where we were partying
Like,
at.
what?
Yeah.
I'm also really glad that Finn Balor was the Iron Man of the match, even though like I wanted him to win. But I'm also glad that Shinsuke won, so I guess I can like let it slide.
Yeah.
I'm just glad Roman didn't win. I'm
Yeah,
glad they didn't.
that's true.
I'm glad they decided not to waste or waste this year's Rumble on Roman, because we already know that Roman's gonna. It was funny. WWE tweeted today something about like, who's your early favorite for the Elimination Chamber match winner, and I read the replies, and it was like, so one of them was like Justin Timberlake, like looking like really confused at him, like okay, and another one was like, this is a really hard one, like
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Roman, oh wait,
Who is that?
Who?
I have no idea.
Who?
So
Update. They are announcing the 205 GM, I believe, and we don't know who it is.
is that a UK wrestler?
I can.
We're gonna put the sound on real
Is that
quick.
Manders?
Ooh, I think it is. Yes, I think it is. That's a surprise.
His eyebrows are nice.
He is very orange.
Yeah, he is really
Looks
orange.
like a leprechaun.
Maybe we shouldn't just stop
Yeah.
the podcast mid-podcast.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
You'll have to edit that.
Yeah, man, it's all right. Stuff happens, you know what I mean? But continuing on this incredible Rumble pay-per-view, we had the bar. I wish that transition would have happened earlier. That would have been smooth, silky smooth. But
John, we're gonna take you to the bar on your birthday.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned. Who's we? You're younger than I am.
Shh.
Well, I'm glad you say that because the bar, like it'll defeat me, defeated the team, the unlikely team of Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins for the Raw Tag Team.
Oh, that's Rockstar Spud.
Oh,
I didn't even realize that was him.
I didn't realize that. I don't really follow him all that
See
much.
Um,
Is he the GM?
Neat.
I'm
I
not.
think so.
Who in the heck is? Someone?
He's an independent wrestler. Well, now that you say that, it does make sense because I've been hearing that name circulating around.
Oh, I guess that's not his name though.
Not in 205 Live.
Drake Maverick. I guess.
Oh, that's an awful name.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. That sounds like it's trying. I do like his bow tie though. He is wearing a bow tie. Maybe we should stop talking about the visuals that the listeners
sorry.
can't see.
I'm sorry.
But
back.
they can go and see it for $9.99.
Wow, you sound like Michael Cole and Shawn Michaels together,
Oh
like
shoot!
put together. But yeah, we did have that really decent match, but it was kind of weird. I honestly don't. Looking back at this pay per view, I don't really remember a lot of the specifics of each match. It's just the Rumbles like obviously overwhelmed the entire pay per view, but Jason Jordan didn't really do a whole lot, right? Like he was kind of hurt, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was hurt. Honestly, I didn't really
Hurt.
watch this
Air
match.
quote.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of just calming down from the Rumble.
It was. That's what
So.
my concern was. I was so exhausted after the Rumble.
Yeah, it was a mental game.
Yeah.
It's a physical game too, because
Yeah.
like we were standing up
Yeah.
cheering, like Rey Mysterio came out cheering and stuff. But, yeah, I don't remember. I think I picked the bar. I think Nick and I picked the bar, right?
I think everyone did besides
Yeah.
me.
I picked the bar.
Oh,
I
picked.
picked the other guys.
Huh.
But I don't know.
I mean, I'm upset that they're going to be doing the whole team breaking up thing between Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. It looks like. Did any more of that happen on Raw? I don't really remember.
I don't think so. I don't remember anything.
I don't even
What did
remember them on
Seth
the show.
do? Like, I'm not sure.
I don't
if
know.
Seth was
I
on there.
honestly don't even remember.
I don't remember them
Hey,
on the
Nick
show.
would
either.
remember. I
Nick would
miss
remember.
Nick.
But Seth's pants.
Fire.
Oh, fire!
They were
they lit.
I was gonna say, for lack of a better term, they were hot. They were awesome. And I know that you guys said that he debuted a new theme song, but we didn't hear it. So I don't know if that's actually gonna be.
I think he might have was just probably testing.
They do
it.
that sometimes, don't they?
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
this tournament.
they are doing the 205 Live Cruiserweight Championship tournament. They have is that Grand Metalik
Yeah.
and Cedric Alexander. I wonder who's gonna win that one.
Tyler
Bate.
Oh yeah, Tyler Bate is on 205
TJP.
Live, and his first match will be against TJP.
That's a no-brainer. Who's gonna win that one?
Yeah, I know.
TJP.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bar, tag team champs. We'll see how far they go again with that. What'd they say, 4 times?
Four times.
Yeah. That's crazy. They've only been a team for like a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they became a team literally the first pay-per-view I watched back. I think it was Roadblock.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that's where they won
I think it was Roadblock where they won it, and they at that time they weren't friends, and now they're the best of friends, and I love them for it. It's incredible. But we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if the Revival are going to be getting a push up to that scene, because I don't know if they're going to continue with Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan in that scene.
Maybe not, but I don't know how long Sheamus can go though.
Mm-hmm. I think was it you and I that were talking about that? Yeah, how like Sheamus has been having that, like neck issues, so we don't know how much longer he has left.
But it'd be great if we could see Sheamus versus Cesaro one more time. I know that we didn't want to see it for like the eighth billion time, because they had that like 7-man seven-man series. And then it ended with them tying. Yeah. We were at that pay-per-view.
We were at Clash Champions.
Oh yeah. The one I didn't get invited to.
But I would like to see it one more time on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania.
That'd be cool.
And I think that's another situation because, like, we're always like, we don't want to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ever wrestle again. But we want to see that now. Like, we want to see them blow it off at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, I could watch them wrestle for the rest of my life. It's just one of those things that, like, we don't want it to happen. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And I know that I'm glad you mentioned that because I totally forgot that was a thing. Because I was really worried that we would never see Sheamus ever again.
Right, yeah. There was like rumors that he could have been retiring early, so he must just be taking it easy.
Because it is a neck injury, right?
I think so.
Because they don't mess around with neck injuries.
I think it's like the same stuff that Edge had. I thought.
Ooh.
That's what, yeah. I was going to say, they do not mess around with neck injuries. Because doesn't Paige have the same thing that Edge has? Or had?
I know Paige has scoliosis, which has kind of affected her pretty bad. So
yeah,
I think she does have a little neck,
from the house show.
Yeah.
Sasha.
Well,
ruining careers.
Someone who might have some injuries would probably be the Monster Kane, as in the next match on the Rumble, we saw Brock Lesnar surprisingly defeating Kane and Braun.
Yeah,
we never thought Brock would beat them. But what a hard-hitting match.
Did you see, you guys probably did, I don't know if you guys noticed it in the match.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Braun kneed like Lesnar, in the head, and then Lesnar got up and freaking punched him straight in the
temple.
I don't
know how Braun Strowman doesn't have a concussion.
Braun was like loopy. He was loopy the entire the rest of the match. Yeah. So it was crazy. And he said a bad word, and they had to bleep it out.
He said bad word.
Bad word.
He needs some milk.
It's like the Four Corners podcast. He said a bad word, so he's got to bleep it out.
Woo!
Woo! But yeah, not surprising. I mean, we've been expecting to see Brock and Roman at WrestleMania, and we didn't really think that we all knew Kane was in there for the fall, and Brock was obviously going to win it.
Yeah.
So not surprising, but a hard-hitting match nonetheless.
My boy Kane did well.
He did do well.
I was proud of him.
He did.
But now we don't know what's up with Kane because he was taken out on the stretcher on Monday.
I was just going to mention that apparently Braun is okay. You guys said he was loopy the whole match.
Yeah.
Apparently he's okay because we did see them on Raw in a last man standing match for a qualifying match. I'm the host!
I'm sorry.
It's okay, buddy.
You told me to talk more.
I know, but I ask you questions. That's how this works.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. I get on a roll and
I
can't stop when I'm in host mode. But we did have Braun defeat Kane in that last man standing match for the Elimination Chamber, and Braun just threw the entire announce table at Kane and just threw it on top of him. I don't know if that's how they're writing Kane off TV.
I think that's how they're doing it, yeah. For a while.
Well, they did say, did you guys notice on commentary when they said, oh, Kane escaped the hospital wherever he was at, and he disappeared?
He went back
like, you can't find a freaking 400 pounds, 7-foot dude running around.
With the mask.
I was going to say, in a mask. Like, you can't find that guy.
He took off the mask.
Yeah.
He was business Kane.
He's going back to he's going back to Knox County.
he is Spooky Boy. he's got his brother's powers of teleportation.
That's true.
But yeah, speaking of the Elimination Chamber match, we're going to be seeing Braun Strowman so far, Elias, and John Cena.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it should be an interesting one. So because we know that Roman's going to be in it, I'm wondering who the last two are going to be.
Probably Seth and Jason.
Yeah,
That'd
that would
be my
make sense.
guess. That'd be my
I
guess.
honestly can't think of anyone right now off the top of my head that I would put in there.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see the dynamic of Roman and Seth moving forward, because Roman knocked Seth out, and usually that's how like friends aren't friends anymore. But Seth like smiled at him like, "Oh man, you
Like,
got
oh,
me.
you.
You."
Well, they
just-
did the same thing when Roman got his record-breaking year of 12 eliminations. He eliminated both, and that's when he was with the Shield. He eliminated both Seth and Dean, and they basically did the same thing. Like, oh, you.
No,
So-
Yeah,
you.
I mean, this is spoilers to the women's Royal Rumble, but
Good transition.
thanks. But like you could tell there's a difference between Roman and Seth, versus Bayley and Sasha.
Right. Great transition, because the final match of the evening, and good for them for not messing this up. WWE could have messed this up in a lot of ways, and they did none of them. They did not mess this up. So we did have the first ever historic women's 30 women's Royal Rumble. It's late, y'all.
Shoot.
Oh, nuggets. Yeah, for the first ever 30 women Royal Rumble, won by Asuka. Not a surprise. Did any of us have Asuka?
I had Asuka.
You had Asuka?
I fucking
Nick
Woo!
Nick had
I
Asuka.
won.
Nick had Asuka.
Nick had Asuka?
Yeah.
Like in our little
Oh.
predictions.
Predictions.
Oh.
Yeah. You weren't in.
I
You
wasn't
weren't
in the
that.
predictions, but I had Asuka for our
You thought
I know.
Rumble.
Oh,
Thingy.
I had Asuka. Oh yeah. Well, I had Asuka like written down, and then I last minute changed to Ruby.
And
So,
as I was telling
bold.
you guys, I didn't think Asuka was gonna win because I thought Shinsuke was gonna win, and I honestly didn't think WWE would put two Japanese wrestlers as their Royal Rumble winners.
You're wrong.
But I know I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not mad by it
I don't know.
because my pick was Rousey, and she came in at the end. So like, if she was in the match, I was gonna say
won. She pointed at the sign.
she did point
She did.
automatically.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if she was in the Rumble, she would have won.
Do you guys think I can like go to like after the end of the Rumble next year and just like hop in the ring and just point?
Maybe.
I think
You might get
You might, I
tackled.
was gonna say you might get tackled. You might not
Dude,
even
Triple
make it
H
anywhere
might come
near.
beat your,
Oh, okay.
B bud.
Time.
My B.
B butt.
Yeah.
B butt. But in this women's rumble, as we were kind of wondering how they were going to flesh out that, because I thought it was going to be a 20 women's rumble at first, but then they said 30, and I was like, oh, okay. So we were all interested to see how they were going to flesh out that 30 women roster into the rumble, and we found out that they were going to do it by plenty of surprises, which that was our theory, and a lot of these surprises were awesome. We had Lita, Kairi Sane, Tori Wilson, Molly Holly, Michelle McCool, Vicky Guerrero, Kelly, Jacqueline, Ember Moon, Beth Phoenix, the Bella Twins, and Trish Stratus.
Wow.
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 And I honestly don't think, even with all those names being said, I don't think they relied too heavily on the nostalgia factor of this match, which is a good thing. And I honestly think that they did a good job of this Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just worried how what they're gonna do next year. Because do you really think they're gonna bring all those people back, or like if they're gonna
I think
bring in
they'll
new
bring.
people?
I think they'll bring in more people from the Mae Young Classic.
I
They
think,
could probably do
yeah,
that.
I think
I
that
agree.
if this is going to be a yearly thing, they are going to start bringing in more.
Maybe start a women's tag.
I would
thing,
love to
that-
see.
that'd
I
be
would
cool.
love. No, first of all, before we get a women's tag division, I would like to see a women's mid card.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Still.
But yeah, we had the final four of that one was Asuka, the Bellas, both
And
the Bellas,
Sasha.
and Sasha Banks. And as you were saying earlier, Kelly, we did see Sasha Banks unceremoniously throwing out Bayley. And this wasn't a look, as you were saying, it wasn't a look of, oh, you got me. It was a, oh, no.
No, like I don't know if you saw, but Sasha mouthed something along the lines of, "This is why I'm the boss."
Yeah.
And,
I
like-
mean, that's a Sasha, like,
Yeah.
mannerism anyway. Like, that's.
But she was like mean about it. Like she just went after Bayley.
I mean, in NXT, that was her thing. She was just mean, and she was all
She
about
was
herself.
good.
It was
Yeah.
good. She's a good heel, and that's what WWE needs to do with her, and they haven't done that since.
And I'm hoping that this is a stepping stone to that because, I mean, hello, Brooklyn Takeover 3? I mean, I messed the name up, but Like, was it 2? I thought it was 3.
No, 3 just happened.
3 just happened.
Oh,
yeah.
you're right.
It's either 1 or 2.
No, it was 2
1.
then.
Was it 1? Yeah, the very first
I think
match
it was
that
the
they
very.
had.
I think it,
yeah, that was
Yeah.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
Very
that
first
one.
Because that was.
It's fine. I mean, they're
Samoa
hard to. They're
Yeah.
honestly hard to like.
There's so many takeovers.
There
That's
really
true.
is, but
But, I mean, like, their chemistry when they are together is 10 out of 10 amazing.
so Kelly,
Yes.
what is
hello.
your opinion as a woman as a woman who is a fan of wrestling?
Yes.
How do you feel that they did on this, coming off of the women's Money in the Bank match that we saw?
I think this was undoubtedly one of their best, like, main events, you know, in years,
Fair.
Mhm.
like, in, like, a few
For-
years.
I mean, for the women too.
Exactly, for
because
the
we've-
women.
The last time we saw a main event of the women, it was that Hell in a Cell
Cell.
match,
Yeah.
and that was
It was
not good.
I thought it was good.
I
mean,
did
it
not.
could
I
have
heard
been
it
better,
was awesome.
I
No.
did not like
Which
it.
one was that?
I
Was
actually
that
haven't
Natalia?
seen
Well,
but- No,
the-
it was Sasha.
The beginning of the
Sasha.
match,
Oh,
the beginning of the
right.
match ruined it, but they
Oh,
did
yeah,
not
that's true.
disappoint in the first ever women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it was definitely a step in the right direction, and I think that they did it justice. And I really do think that, I mean, these are just theories, but I really do think that, you know, Vince took a step back and let Stephanie and Triple H really, like, take over and plan this out, because it kind of felt like Triple H and Stephanie had their hand in it, with, like, creating the order and doing everything and, like, all the matchups, blah blah blah. Yeah, it was really great, especially that spot with Asuka and Ember Moon continuing their storyline,
Mm-hmm.
because I read, like, this whole thing on Reddit, shout out Squared Circle, where someone posted a theory that's like that spot in the Royal Rumble between Asuka and Ember Moon, where, you know, Ember just, like, went straight for Asuka and she still fell short of beating Asuka. Kind of that her whole character arc depends on trying to beat Asuka and trying to be that first person to break her streak and to defeat her and everything, but she just can't, because as soon as she figures Asuka out, Asuka has tricks up her sleeve. And I thought that was a good point, and it was definitely one of my favorite spots in the Royal Rumble. Not my favorite, but, like, second or third, definitely.
You mentioned beating Asuka, and that is a task that a lot of women want to do. It seems that in the women's division.
Yeah.
But one woman who may have the chance to do that, as we saw coming out, not even last, like after the match, surprisingly, came out to Joan Jett, Ronda Rousey. I just can't get behind that.
That's what she used in UFC, I think.
Oh, did she?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not a big UFC fan, so I don't know, but
But, I mean, part of me is okay with her coming out at the end, just because, you know, if she was in there, she was going to win it, and, like, we do want the first ever women's Royal Rumble to be won by a women's wrestler. Not saying that Ronda is a bad wrestler, we just have to see, and, like, she definitely hasn't, like, put her name in WWE history books yet.
I hope it's not a flop.
Right, but at the end of the day, it does almost feel like Asuka's thunder was stolen.
I don't think.
The
I-
reason
I
I
thought
say
so.
that is because on Raw, Stephanie McMahon made a big deal of saying, "Oh, this is Asuka's night now," and it wasn't Asuka's night last night. Like, she didn't say that last part, but she did mention something along the lines of, "This night is about the first ever woman winning it," and it was like, they could have brought Ronda out. If they were gonna do that, they could have brought her out on Raw
Yeah.
and then do it. Like,
agree.
that's how I feel. I feel that they stole her thunder a little bit.
I mean, maybe just a little, but honestly, I feel like Asuka winning it was big, anyways. Like, it was. Still,
yeah.
It was still a good moment for her, and the fact that Ronda put her hand out and Asuka slapped it away was a good little storytelling there.
Right.
And I liked it.
But also, if you look, like, in the news online,
It's everywhere.
nobody is talking about the first women's Rumble. They're talking about
Ronda.
Ronda Rousey signing to the WWE.
And that was going to happen anyways.
Yeah.
I agree, but why bring her out for 5 minutes of her pointing at the sign,
That was cringy.
trying to shake Asuka's hand, going out of the ring, pointing at the crowd, shaking Stephanie's hand, getting back in the ring, staring down Charlotte, pointing to the sign, and then just ending it there.
And
like, what was the purpose of that? To get headline, to get her name out that, she's in the WWE now. And I agree. She stole the thunder.
What they could have done is they should have had the women at the end of Monday Night Raw, have Charlotte come in, have Alexa Bliss come in, not even have them come in like they did at the end of the Royal Rumble. Do that spot at the end of Monday Night Raw and do it that way, so her thunder wasn't stolen.
Yeah.
Because we never see the two champions at the ringside anyways. So it was a little weird to me to see Charlotte and Alexa Bliss out there anyways. So they could have kept that for tomorrow and invited Charlotte to Raw and done it that way.
Right. And you speak about champions, and it's interesting to note that on Raw, Stephanie McMahon did confirm that there is going to be a first ever women's Elimination Chamber match where Alexa Bliss... Yeah. I didn't think it was going to happen. And I'm scared that they're going to do all the women's stuff now. And, like, it's Vince's way of, like, getting it out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, let's get the women's revolution out of the way, and then we can go back to, like, the men's stuff. Because I feel like if they would have dragged it out a little bit, like, have every year a new women's thing, a new revolution. Like, 2017 was the women's Money in the Bank. 2018, the ladder match, or the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
2019, Elimination Chamber. Like, because that's that deadly destruction.
Mm-hmm.
All they gotta do now is
TLC.
TLC and have the women main event at WrestleMania. But that's probably not gonna happen.
I could see that happening soon though, with Asuka. And
Probably like 2020.
I don't know. Who knows?
Well, I don't know what could
35.
happen for 2019, but maybe they could try that for 2019.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Not me. I don't know.
I don't have the answers.
I don't have the answers. You know who does have the answers? Actually, I do have the answers to our polls.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I'm getting better at these transitions.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
I love you, John.
Your ego's
Thanks,
getting
buddy.
a
I
little too
appreciate
high.
that. Speaking about our polls, last week's question of the week that Nick threw on us was a deep question. Yeah, deep question. We had the if you could go back in history and change the outcome of one match, which would it be? I think Damien's answer was HBK and Taker.
Yeah.
And Ethan's was Kane and Triple H,
Right.
mask taking off. Mine was Orton and Hogan at SummerSlam. And Nick's was Orton and Christian. And the winner of that one was Damien.
2 weeks in a
With
row.
40... Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, buddy.
No, I won first week.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you won.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
or you
won.
guys had the same answer, didn't you?
No.
I thought
No,
you guys
I
had
thought
the
I
exact...
No, I won. Because I had pushed Dolph, and I was the only one who said that. And
Go back to
Go
it.
back. Scroll
my
down.
good
Scroll
gravy.
down.
Scroll back.
Scroll
Oh
back.
my
I'm
good-
pretty sure I won.
Wowza.
It was
So, we had Push Dolph, Fire Zach,
that's me.
and...
Oh crap.
There were... Oh, you didn't push Dolph?
I don't know.
No.
Well, there's
Nick
only
and
3
Damien
answers here, so I feel like one of you guys... Because...
Nick and Damien had the same.
Well, mine was Push Rude, Fire Dolph, and Zach to NXT, and I'm pretty
I
sure...
think
I'm pretty
I
sure
said-
Nick's... Or was yours Push Rude, Fire
Yeah.
Zach, and...
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
yeah, that was yours.
Yeah, Nick
Darn,
and
I
Damien
was
both
wrong.
had
Oh, yeah,
the
Nick and Damien had the... Yeah. But, yeah, that was...
Right.
That was
That was
last
first one.
week's question of the week. Since Nick can't be here today, he entrusted me with this week's question of the week.
Is it a
This
good one?
It's a decent one.
Decent
yeah,
one?
it's a pretty
Alright.
good one. I'm
Good job.
liking
Oh,
these
you're
questions
thinking
of
I
the
think
week.
it's a good one.
Did you see it?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So I'll go first on this one.
what's the
Just to give you
question?
guys, I know, just to give you guys a little bit of time, you goon. But
Amazing.
the question is, if you were a wrestler, what would your entrance theme be? Now I'm thinking that we can like choose a song that's already there. I mean, we've seen that with CM Punk, like we just saw that with Ronda Rousey, or as I'm going to describe it, maybe the stylings of a song. So I think depending on what kind of character I would be, because I've already thought about this, I think my entrance theme would be relatively close to Aleister Black's, because when Code Orange performed a couple takeovers ago, I can't remember which one it was. I don't remember which one it was either. I don't even know who he faced, but I love Code Orange, and I would love to come out to a Code Orange song. It's just the raw, energetic, heavy, and I'm glad that WWE's getting back into the heavy music. And that would be the kind of styling that I think I personally would like to come out to. Damien, you have a particular answer for this one?
Well, I was talking to a guy that I work with at Walmart. He used to wrestle down south, and he was telling me some stuff about him, and he's like, dude, if you were ever a wrestler, what would your name be? And I was like, dude, my nickname's The Rig, so I'd just go with The Rig, and, my theme song would have, like, at the beginning of it, it would be, like, a rig taking off, or, like, starting up, and then the horn. So, something along those lines, but if it was, like, an already song, but I don't want to steal Chris Jericho's, but, dude, Judas is a bopper, so I'd probably be, like...
Bopper. Slaps.
So, I'd ask Chris and be like, hey, I want to use Judas. Can I do it?
You would ask Chris?
Yeah.
Like,
you would ask him?
You just call him up on the phone. Like, hey, what's up?
And he'd say no.
Well, if he says no, then I'll find something different. But
Ethan, would you have to ask Chris? Or
no, I wouldn't have to ask Chris.
I think you already have an answer to this, don't you?
Because
I'm
you know
pretty
what's
sure
funny? You know what's hilarious? Today, I was just bored, and I was like, I wrote down a list of theme songs. Like, no joke.
Really?
No joke. But, like, so I'm actually... Not many people know this, but I'm actually gonna start training here in a couple months to become a wrestler, and I'm pretty excited. And what my character is gonna be, do you know the song "Moneymaker Smile" by Bruno Mars?
Yes.
It's like
it's
a song about.
Great song.
It's a great song. It's about a stripper basically.
Yeah.
He basically wrote this song, like I guess he was in a strip club one time, and he was like, you know what, I want to write a good song to use at a strip club, and. And with my character, I kind of want to be like this flamboyant type,
really out there.
Yeah, really out there. And I think that song would work great with my character. If I'm more of a serious character, I would choose Blood Milk Sky by White Zombie. Because it's pretty hardcore. And if I ever went the opposite route and went really hardcore, I think that would work pretty well. Just on the indies, but if it's WWE, I would.
Could sound like Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't Rob Zombie do that?
Yeah, he's kind of like that.
Never gonna stop me. That song slaps though. I love that song. Kelly, do you have a bopper for your entrance theme? Do you think?
I don't know. Part of me wants to go, the very obvious answer, which would be like a Fall Out Boy song. Just
Fair
depending, because like there's like 7 different moods for Fall Out Boy, so depending on my character. But as I was sitting here thinking, I'd probably like something along the lines of like Peyton Royce and Billy Kay's theme, because first of all,
Alright, sorry.
amazing.
In the Rig Studios.
But they're great. Like I would love to be, they're kind of like annoying heel type character. I just think it would be fun. So
wow, I could definitely see that
I
happening.
was about to
hate all of you so much.
No, you don't. You love
but
us.
you could pull off that character though.
You'd be the next Vicky Guerrero.
Oh no! Nobody can be.
Excuse me.
Oh, we forgot to talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No.
Oh well.
But yeah,
I mentioned her in passing.
I think something like that, or even, if I went the more like sweet route, something like Brie Bella's theme song. Which, by the way, shout out to Brie Bella for wrestling.
Getting them
8 months after emergency C-section.
Right, them baby pounds off. Looks good.
She looks good. Shout out to her. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Actually, you're not listening to this.
Hey, Brie.
But yeah, I think that was a good question. Good question, Nick.
Did Nick answer by chance?
I don't think Nick answered, but we can go ahead and we will probably tweet that out.
On the tweet.
Yeah, we'll tweet that out. We are going to wrap up this podcast with our finishers this week. Damien?
Well, something we did not discuss was the XFL, and
No.
I am
Oh my
excited.
goodness. For the future?
No, I mean, kind of. I mean, yes.
It's in
2020 is the
2020,
future.
so-
2020, it is the future. It is the future of football. I mean, it happened in 2001. That was in the past, but this is the future, and it could be good. We'll see how it goes. I like that phrase too, John.
Yes.
But no, I'm a big football guy, so I played football in high school, so I tweeted out jokingly that, my next career goal is to become an XFL coach. So, yeah, there's my finisher for the week.
Wow. Is it my turn?
Wow.
Ethan?
So I have two finishers because this just came about. But anyways, my first finisher is that I believe that Roman should not main event WrestleMania this year. I feel like it should be our time, the Mark's time. It should be Shinsuke versus AJ for the main event WrestleMania.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Not only would you not have Roman in the main event, but you wouldn't have Brock in the main
I know,
event.
but I want it so bad.
Second finisher?
Oh,
Well, so is that like the first AA, and then this is the Avalanche AA?
yeah, but this is kind of like proud boyfriend moment because my girlfriend just texted me and said she just bought SmackDown tickets for us, and we are in
For March?
for March, and we are in section 6.
Thanks for the invite. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
section 6. Yeah, sorry, Lauren just bought 2 tickets. So.
Shout out to Lauren.
Hey,
Shout out
thanks,
to
Lauren.
Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Kelly?
Thanks on that.
Did your boyfriend buy you SmackDown tickets?
No,
What's your
he-
finisher?
He bought me Fall Out Boy tickets. So.
Oh. I'd rather go to SmackDown.
My finisher is I'm gonna bring this up again. Brie Bella being in the Royal Rumble. She's not like all time or current favorite, but like she's like one of my guilty pleasure wrestlers. And just like after Nikki came out and I like turned to John and I was like, Brie Bella's coming out, like I guarantee it. And John was like, nah, it's not gonna happen. And her music hit. Like, I just got that feeling inside of like, you're watching someone come back that like you've been waiting for forever. I just got that feeling that like a little kid would get when they're like, going to like their first WrestleMania. How about that? Or like first Raw, SmackDown live event. Like I just got that feeling on the couch and I was like almost in tears just because like I was so excited.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you're gonna cry now talking about it.
Yeah, I got really excited and
That's how I
that'll
felt
be
about
like
Hurricane. So I feel you.
yeah, like that's a feeling that I probably will never feel again, and I felt like a little kid.
No.
That's all.
We're still
That's-
kids in the heart. It's
John?
okay.
Yeah, John.
Oh.
John?
What's your finisher? Wow.
What's your future?
So I know that there's what's my future? It's not looking bleak, or it's not looking good. It's looking bleak. But I know that we say this about a lot of people, and I know that there are a lot of people who can be put in this spot. But I firmly believe that Aleister Black will be the WWE champion within the next 2 years.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Bold.
I think
That's like
he
Shinsuke treatment.
I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest wrestlers in WWE history
Of
by
all
the
time?
end of it. Yes.
Wow. I hope if they book
yeah.
him right.
Yeah.
they
We
definitely have to.
if they book him right, and I honestly think that Vince might take a step back. I know that he mentioned in the XFL pod or in the
Announcement.
announcement, that it wasn't going to affect his day-to-day life, and we know that Vince McMahon does have a very, very strong work ethic. But I do believe that he's going to be taking a little bit of a step back, and if Aleister Black can remain pushed and booked the way he is on NXT on the main roster, he has it in him. Nick and I were just talking about how like Aleister Black is almost kind of like a modern day Undertaker, and the fact that like, well, Undertaker's gimmick wouldn't work today. He's like you know what I mean?
Bray, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing to like a kind of the mystique, I guess. Aleister Black hardly ever talks, and he's so good in the ring. That match with Adam Cole is just bar none incredible.
In
And
Velveteen Dream.
Oh,
yeah.
I know, and
Yeah.
that's what I mean. We say that about every match, like every takeover. It's like, wow, That match was even better than the last one. I didn't know that was possible.
I bet
but
he wrestles for the NXT title next.
I hope he does.
I bet that's what.
I
He's
hope
doing.
he does.
Especially
I hope he holds
since
it
he
for a
beat
little bit, and then I hope he. Tell me, wouldn't you love to see like Aleister Black versus AJ or like versus anyone? Yeah, anyone.
Yeah.
Because as we saw, he can put on a match with anyone. But good episode this time, guys.
This is good.
Yeah.
Till next time.
But that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Four Corners Podcast. Follow us on all of our social media everywhere, our Twitter, our Facebook. Keep up with our questions of the week and all that jazz. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss next week's episode. And from everyone here at the Four Corners Podcast, have a good night.